Good evening, race fans, and welcome in once again here on VirtualRacing.Network. It's the Icon Cup Series. Yes, Sunday nights, always Icon Cup Series time here, but it's the playoffs. You know, we're knee-deep. Just two more to go in this round of the chase here at the high banks of Homestead. It has been all Justin Michael for the last couple of races. Who will it be tonight? Who will punch their ticket to head to the finale race at Phoenix? That is our question, and that's why we're watching tonight. 135 laps here around Homestead, Miami. I'm Trevor Greenfield, as always, here in the booth, and alongside me, none other than team owner of the Full Send Esports team and legend sim racer himself, Christian Snyder. Christian, welcome back. What are we looking forward to tonight here at Homestead?
It's going to be a very loose race from what I'm gathering from these guys in practice. The tires are kind of wearing pretty quick, and it's like ice out there, so it's pretty overcast though, so it might not be too terrible. I think if it was sunny it would be a lot worse, but definitely a handful setup wise, and it's pushing tight into the corner and loose off, so that's the worst possible setup that you can have, because you're trying to keep it off the wall and you're turning so hard to keep it off, but then you start to snap loose and you're already turning it hard. So might see a couple cautions from some self spins possibly, but other than that, it should be a fantastic race out here.
Well, as you said, this is going to be a fantastic race, I believe, because this is actually kind of a fan favorite or a driver favorite of many here. As you see, Brendan Jenks for Full Send Esports right now out there on the track getting in his qualifying lap, his second qualifying lap at the moment. Anthony Campbell for Harper Motorsports putting the top time down. Cameron Thompson in second, Justin Michael in third. Now Jamison Haviland climbing up there into the second to top spot. As Brendan Jenks finishes up that qualifying lap. Scott Patton now jumping up to the top of the charts. How about you take us around here on board with Cody Eldred?
Yeah, there's going to be a couple different lines here through the night, but the fast way is around the bottom, the first few laps of a run, but you're going to see a lot of cars migrate to the top throughout the run here, but you're going to see Cody Eldred here. I think I don't know why he pulled down there, but he's going to run the top this corner. Let's see if he can keep it off the wall. That's going to be something we're going to see all night, is if these guys can keep it off the wall. They're going to be inches away from it. And the reason that they're up there is because it puts, whenever you get your right rear close to that wall, it puts a cushion of air between the car and the wall, so it kind of helps you get that run off the corner. So a lot of guys going to try that, as we see Vincent Arthur joining us in Icon, and he's going to go for his first lap, probably going to run the top the first lap, and then run the bottom his second lap for the fast lap, hopefully. That's what you hope for. You hope for a pole here, because track position, going to be everything.
Going to be absolutely everything. We saw there's also going to be quite a breeze out there, at least there is here at qualifying, 15 miles per hour. That may wreak a little bit of havoc with these drivers out there, at least make it a little more uncomfortable for them with that loose condition. Justin Michael of Bandit Motorsports now going to the top of the charts. He's been kind of unstoppable the past couple of weeks, and he's trying to do so again here tonight. Timmy Harper keeping his playoff challenges alive. I mean, if Vincent Arthur is finding it that loose, I imagine a lot of drivers out there are going to be really struggling tonight.
Yeah, he was turning right there through that corner there, so he's going to lose a little bit of speed for that one. But yeah, he was really struggling in practice with a loose car. Brendan Jenks also was struggling. I talked to Ronnie as well, and he was saying it was loose, so a lot of people struggling. Somehow, Vincent Arthur still third, even though he was turning about 45 degrees to the right.
I guess when you're good, you're good, and you can scrub off some speed and still put down a great time. Of course, so grateful to have all of you joining us live here on YouTube, on our VirtualRacing.Network channel. If you're not already subscribed, of course, you'll need to be subscribed in order to be able to chat in the channel, but we love chatting with you. Let us know where you're watching from and who you're rooting on out here in the Icon Cup Series tonight, and who you think is going to win this championship. It's a still wide open ball game. We're going to get to the points here in just a second as these drivers finishing up their qualifying. Ronnie Norman now slotting in second fastest. I'll tell you what, it's looking like Nora second, third, and fourth, the drivers coming over from the Nora Cup Series to run here in Icon. But Ronnie Norman getting in second with that qualifying effort. So with that, let's go ahead and take a look real quick at the points standings as they are coming in here to Homestead Miami Speedway. Of course, just 2 more races after this race. And so here on your screen is exactly what we're looking at. Justin Michael, top of the chart, as you can see with that win. Vincent Loria currently sitting in second place. Nathan Finnegan in third, and Timmy Harper making it in on points for the moment. But you see how close it is there with Cody Neal sitting in fifth, just 5 points out. Sean Purcell in sixth, 12 points out. Ronnie Norman well back. He's going to need to win. And unfortunately, Ryan Patty has his hands full with some real-life responsibilities. We wish him luck and well with all of that he is involved in. But the show must go on here, and just like that, it's Justin Michael who backs up his good fortune so far here in the playoffs with a pole position for Bandit Motorsports. And alongside him will be Ronnie Norman, who once again pretty much needs to win in order to get in to Phoenix. So you know he's going to be racing for a lot out there, racing for Harper Motorsports. His teammate and the namesake over at Harper, Tim Harper, going to be starting on that second row. Alongside him will be Vincent Arthur. On that third row will be Nathan Finnegan. He's had a lot of success in the playoffs. Will it continue here tonight? Cameron Thompson will be alongside him. On that fourth row, Adam Ball and Brendan Jenks. On the fifth row, Cody Neal and Scott Patton. And then Sean Purcell and Cody Height, 11th and 12th. 13th will be Vincent Loria. Alongside him will be Anthony Campbell. In 15th, Jamison Haviland and Kyle Purcell. Brian Smith will be starting next to Brock Hersey. Cody Eldred in 19th place next to Zach Lockett. Kyle Corley alongside of Stephen Tuck. Blake Hoppy and Hanover Fisk going to be 23rd and 24th. And the last car to start tonight will be Tyler the Talent.
Yeah, great field here, 25 cars. Going to be an exciting one. Got that front row, no surprise at all with Justin Michael. And Ronnie Norman, he has to win either this week or next week, and he's putting himself in a good position starting second there. And then you got Tim Harper there in third. He told me earlier this morning, he said, it was pretty much first thing I woke up, I saw a message, and he said, if you got to bet on somebody tonight, bet on that number 12 Menards Ford.
Well, could be anyone's race here tonight, but of course there are some favorites who have done well in the season. With that, here we go. We're underway at Homestead. Justin Michael, the great start as always. You might expect that. Ronnie Norman having a big problem sliding through the field. And this is not what you expected on lap number 1 from Ronnie.
Yeah, you could say that again. It looks like maybe he crossed the seam with his left side tires, and on cold tires, it's very treacherous. I know the people watching at home can't see, but this track, whenever you look at that seam, there is a gap in the track. So the tire isn't touching anything whenever it goes over that seam, and that's why you lose traction whenever you cross those.
Well, as we do always here on VirtualRacing.Network, we're going to back it up, and we'll take a look from on board Ronnie's number 18 machine as it gets going here. We knew it was going to be loose, Christian, but is this loose? Or is it just crossing that seam?
It's a little bit of a mixture of both. Looks like he got a little bit too much on the throttle and crossed the seam at the same time. We'll have to watch again here from overhead. You see that black line there. He doesn't touch it, so, well, there he does. So he gets loose, and then once he touches the seam, it's on from there.
Multiple cars just barely avoiding that one. We'll take a look from onboard Brendan Jenks' machine. This is what he saw on the outside with the Tire Pros number 38 Chevy.
Cody Neal gets collected in that playoff driver there.
Absolutely. We'll see exactly what it looked like from Cody Neal's point of view as he's now in the pits. So, unfortunately, Cody Neal, his night starts the way that you wouldn't ever want a race to start. Doesn't even make it through lap 1 before sustaining some damage.
Yeah, Vincent Loria got a little bit too on his right side there. Also another playoff contender.
Absolutely. One more look at this from Vincent Loria's point of view. And you can see him getting loose.
Somehow makes it through. Look at Purcell. He gassed it up, gets underneath it, and avoids it, but you can hear a little bit from Loria there. He got a little bit of a scrape on that right side. Not going to be too detrimental for him. I think he's going to have still something to say about the finish of this race, but that's unfortunate for Norman. You know, we talked about it coming in. He's got to win either this week or next week, and this week seems a lot harder now after that first lap incident with him.
Well, certainly, but we've certainly seen Stormin' Ronnie Norman work his way through the field before in a hurry, and he might have that opportunity here tonight as he actually did not lose a lap under that first caution. So we're expecting to go tonight to lap number 45 or so for the first for the caution break for the stage. So we'll be watching for that. This will definitely take any of the sting out of getting to there on one fuel tank for any of these drivers, having all these caution laps, but they probably were going to be able to make it there anyway.
Yeah, they should have been able to make it anyways. I think the fuel, from what I was told, is between 45 to 50. For those that are good at saving fuel, it's about 50 laps. So they should have been fine to make it to the end, but now they're absolutely fine to make it to the end of the stage. So we'll have to see how this restart goes. We couldn't make it out of turn 2 last time. Let's see how it goes this time. Green flag back in the air.
Green flag once again here at Homestead Miami Speedway. Michael out to a great lead. Harper still holding in second place. Nathan Finnegan now up into third as it's now 3 wide coming off the corner.
Oh, man. Vincent Arthur, there wasn't a foot between him and the wall on that restart, and he's able to make it work and goes from 4th to 2nd in one corner.
So Arthur doing what he does very well over in the NORA Cup Series, and who can forget it wasn't that long ago that he was a one-off entrant here in the Icon Cup Series. He took victory in Michigan. Looking to do so once again as NORA Cup Series, of course, here on VirtualRacing.Network will be out there again on Tuesday night. But up in front, this is the battle. First and second, Justin Michael staying out in the lead, but here comes Vincent Arthur on the outside.
Yeah, this is a dream battle right here between Vincent Arthur and Michael. You know, it's Justin Michael is kind of the head honcho of this league. Not necessarily head honcho, but one of the best. But we have a caution here.
We do have a caution, and it's for Cody Neal, I believe.
Well, he just got sideways there, but the caution was out before that, so I don't know what just happened to Cody there getting loose, but caution does come out before him, so we'll have to see exactly who that was. Looks like Stephen Tuck, possibly. Nope. Trying to find it here for you.
There's the 38 of Brendan Jenks. Sideways on the track. So let's take a look and see if we can figure this one out. Overhead from Jenks as he heads through the corner. Oh, you can see another car getting loose just up in front, and then Jenks kind of responding and getting a tank slapper. Heads it sideways. We'll go back and take a look here. On board with Jenks.
I was just going to bring it up that he said, interview me at any point during the race under green flag. I'm fine with it. But now I think the rest of the night we will choose not to do that because he is probably in a mood now.
Well, certainly
he
Cody Neal.
He can't catch a break, man.
Cody Neal went through some stuff too. Let's check this out.
Something happened to him after the caution comes out, unless he's still trying to save it ever since the incident there. Here he is.
There.
Oh!
32 wow. Just kind of came down the track, Cody Eldred.
I don't know if he did that. I doubt he did that intentionally. Maybe he got on the gas and got sideways and came down into him, but that was interesting for sure.
Well, there's Eldred in the pits, exiting right now for Operation Motorsport. Has that new paint scheme on there. Stephen Tuck exiting the pits as well. Brendan Jenks coming out of the pits. Here's Zach Lockett. Take a wild guess what his favorite NFL team is.
I would say the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, you would say that because that's your favorite team.
It should be everyone's.
Yeah, I guess no other teams exist if you are a Philadelphia Eagles fan. Scott Patton's sitting in the pits at the moment. He is in danger of potentially going down a lap here if he doesn't get rolling.
There he goes. He's got some pretty big damage there from that hit, but I think he should be okay here tonight. Possibly still a top 10 in his future. So if you're a Scott Patton fan, I wouldn't have any panic yet. He's still in this thing. How about these two, though? I was saying it right before the caution came out. You know, Justin Michael's been lights out lately in Icon, and Vincent Arthur over there in Nora has won, I think, like 5 of the last 8 races. So these two are getting hot at the right times in their respective series.
Indeed. It's a dream showdown, as you've said before, and it's really interesting because it does kind of introduce a wild card here that obviously Justin Michael would prefer to not have at the moment. Such a stellar driver in Vincent Arthur coming over here and keeping Justin Michael honest, where if it's not for Vincent Arthur, he may be able to walk a little bit clearer with this lead and control the front, but Vincent Arthur taking that opportunity to make the pass. He's got nothing to lose, and so here we go once again. Is it going to be Vincent Arthur or Justin Michael at the end of this next lap? That's what we're about to find out. Here comes Nathan Finnegan down to the inside.
Yeah, another one to look out for is the guy on the outside right there, Brian Smith. He's coming. He's on the outside of Justin Michael, probably going to clear him down the backstretch here. What a run. See if he takes it to the inside of Finnegan. He will.
How about 14? Now make it 15 positions gained for Brian Smith. You don't think he loves this track? This is some really amazing stuff out of Smith already. So, I mean, he's got more passes than laps that we've completed here on the track, but Smith able to make all of those passes so far. Vincent Arthur now walking off the front a little bit. About a 10-car length lead over Nathan Finnegan.
Yeah, Finnegan, he needs to just have a decent run here tonight. He's in a good position going into Martinsville as of right now. I think he was plus 30 from what I saw. So he's in a good position, but, I mean, everyone wants to be locked in going into Martinsville because you just never know what's going to happen there. Or actually, it's Dover for these guys.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Still the same thing, though. It is, man, Dover, it's called the Monster Mile for a reason.
Right, but it's so funny that Icon choosing to go with Dover as the track to race at instead of Martinsville because it's like maybe 10% better to race at Dover than Martinsville, but Martinsville, the paperclip, going to be real evil for these Cup cars on Tuesday night next week. Here we go, Nathan Finnegan and Brian Smith side by side. Smith ripping the wall on the high side. Is this going to work tonight? We've been told from Vincent Arthur that ripping the wall is all done and dusted for the NASCAR Next Gen machine, but look at Brian Smith get that huge run off the wall, and there he is up into second place.
Yeah, the outside is doable. It's a lot of, we got a big wreck. Tim Harper,
championship contender involved. Numerous vehicles involved. Cameron Thompson, Tyler DeTalent moves through this one.
He's unscathed. Cody Height, though, involved in this one as well. Whew. This got a lot of cars involved in it here. Definitely started with Tim Harper. He was up pretty far.
Well, we'll take a look from Tim Harper, who now is officially listed as being at the back of the field, so very costly for Harper. There he was racing right behind Justin Michael, and perhaps maybe a little bit of drift of air coming across the front end on that thing. Either way, loose is as loose does here at Homestead Motor Speedway, and Tim Harper around. Not huge damage, though.
Yeah, not huge damage, but if we take a look at that again, that was the seam. That second seam up on the track. He barely crossed it, and you could see a little snap come from it. So here he crosses the first one. Once he crosses the second one, you see he has to turn right. And at that little bit of turn made him check up, and then Cameron Thompson gets into the back of him. These guys got to watch out for that seam tonight. If these guys aren't watching the broadcast, they're missing out on the message, because that seam is very dangerous.
Well, perhaps they should be doing about a half an hour coaching session with Christian Snyder ahead of time. He might help them out.
Oh no, they would have probably already crashed if they took lessons from me. But how about Cody Height? I don't think he does any damage from this. He avoided it.
Cody Height on YouTube. I can only imagine what that looked like over on his stream. But he manages to recover, no damage. Just back in 11th place now.
Get him a towel and a Gatorade. I think he sweated through that one. My goodness.
So Vincent Arthur continuing to stay out in front, but he's going to be well aware of the other driver who is here in the field, but not part of the playoffs anymore. It's kind of, this was a shock to all of us that Brian Smith did not advance in the playoffs, but things keeping him from getting into all of the races and it not being the dream postseason for him. He's had to, unfortunately, be out of the playoffs here towards the end of the season, but here he comes. 15 positions gained here tonight, and we may have another showdown on our hands here before very long, this time between Arthur and Smith. Now, Finnegan, also, let's make note that Finnegan, he's gained 2 spots here, but he's running in third, and he's part of that playoff contingent, and certainly this would go a long ways to solidifying him being in at Phoenix.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he's been kind of getting hot at the same time as Michael, just maybe not as hot. He won a couple races there right before the playoffs started. Was able to get a win in the playoffs and is kind of rode that momentum the whole way now here to Homestead. He's got 2 races to go to make it to that championship 4. And I would have to say he's probably favorite to make it of those who aren't locked in as of right now.
Definitely one of the hottest drivers in Icon, and I would say Finnegan, one of those favorites to make it into that round of 4 for sure. He's got to hang on here, though, to that 3rd spot, and a lot of these drivers going to be vying to get in with a win. Here we go, about to set sail again, one more time here in Homestead. Some drivers getting ready. And Brian Smith trying to do his best to hang with Vincent Arthur. Great job by Nathan Finnegan to also be right there. He stays just inside of Brian Smith, and they'll go through the corner side by side there. Cars fanning out 2 and 3 wide as they come through corners 1 and 2. Finnegan now slotting back into third, side by side with Justin Michael. Here comes Cody Neal back into the picture.
How about it with these guys that have those yellow banners? They're probably a little upset that 2 guys without those banners are out in front of them. They're supposed to be the best of the best out here, and we got some upsets coming in here and trying to upset the playoffs. But right now, Cody Neal rebounding from that earlier contact. Same with Ronnie Norman. He's back up inside the top 10 as well. Vincent Loria was also involved in that. He's back inside the top 10, so not as much damage as we thought they had.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, little tap.
Very close. That tap there, a little bit more than just a love tap, but Cody Neal, hey Christian, this guy who's running in 6th place. Oh my goodness,
oh,
we've got somebody around.
Campbell.
It's Campbell.
Oh, more wrecking. Stephen Tuck. Looks like Hersey as well. They keep it straight though, no caution.
Campbell able to recover. Tuck, Purcell, Brock Hersey, everybody able to recover.
More smoke. Oh man, I think that was that green car that time got loose in front of them. Oh man.
You're like a dad who's watching his kids out there playing sports. You're more nervous than the kids are for sure. But Vincent Arthur doing what he needs to do out in front of this race. He's now pulled out once again about 7/10 of a second, about 10 car lengths over Brian Smith right now. Nathan Finnegan in third, 4th place belonging to Justin Michael, and then you see Cody Neal all over the back of him. But I was just mentioning, there in 6th place, it's another championship driver by the name of Ronnie Norman. Can you believe it? Ronnie storming back through the field, able to get back into 6th place.
Yeah, not a surprise. He didn't have too much damage there. He's going to fight until his last breath here tonight. So we'll see what the outcome's going to be for him. He's really good at that tire management, and that's what Homestead is just saving tires and being there at the right time. So we'll have to see exactly where he finishes tonight, but he desperately needs at least a top 3 to even have a shot at pointing his way in next week. But more than likely, I would say must-win situation here for that 18.
Well, we got a great race on our hands. It is starting to go a little bit single file as these drivers are starting to settle into the groove of racing here at Homestead, finding their favorite line and starting to manage those tires well into the stint. Did see a little bit of side-by-side action here going on with Vincent Loria, who's still in the playoffs, and Cody Height. Loria on the outside there, Cody Height on the inside. Looks like Loria going to hold on to that position for 8th place. And right now, here's another potential swap. Here comes Justin Michael on the inside of Nathan Finnegan. That's for 3rd place.
Yeah, the inside, I just don't think it's quite there, because you're going to see Finnegan get a good run off the corner here and easily clear Michael. So I think the top side is going to be the preferred lane whenever you're battling. The only way you're going to be able to run the bottom on somebody is if you get right on their quarter panel mid straightaway, side draft them, and then dive bomb into the corner and pull a slide job. A lot of people know that term. Junior made it famous. You just dive down as far into the corner and slide the whole way up to the wall. That's what Finnegan's trying right now.
Certainly, that's one of the most common techniques in dirt racing, as you slip and slide all over the track. Just chuck it in there on entry and let it drift on up the track, and you'll find your opponent having to get out of the gas, and boom, you got yourself a pass done. Vincent Loria and Kyle Purcell have now gotten around Ronnie Norman. Actually, Norman now racing side by side as he's done what you said, which is take that high line and try and fight back on Vincent Loria. So he's gonna try to keep it going there. He's staying side by side, and he's possibly gonna stay in it. How about Cody Height now recovering? I mean,
I tell you what, next caution, we need to talk to him and see what his reaction was through that wreck, because he didn't touch anything, but he had to spin his car in order to not touch anything. That was impressive.
Indeed it was. Here comes Cody Neal on the low side on Justin Michael. So Cody Neal now moving up into the top 5, now into 4th place. And Michael, just like that, going from the lead on pole position, now sliding back in to 5th place here tonight.
We've seen Cody Neal over the past few months just increasing his talent here and just getting better and better week in and week out. And he ended up getting a win finally and kind of broke that winless streak that he's had this season. And ever since that win, he's been a top 5 competitor week in and week out.
Yeah, it's been amazing watching several drivers in the field start to gain that confidence once they get that big monkey off their back, get that big W, and all of a sudden it feels like the impossible is possible once again. You know, you go out there, you win a lot of these races in official racing and other league racing, but until you get the win against that talent pool in the big league, you know, you got to prove yourself that you can do it. Once you feel that you can do it, hey, I did it last Sunday, I can go out there and do it again next Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of last Sunday, Justin Michael, he wants to go back out here and win back-to-back. I believe he won last week, so he's having a little bit of a struggle here early, though. He's back to 5th right now, falling like a rock so far. He's already 2.5 seconds back of the lead. So a little bit of a struggle here for the 87 early in this one.
Well, certainly there's some strategy to that, going out there, taking the win and taking those points away from certain drivers. But you just want to do the best that you can do. I think next week, everybody knows how much of a crapshoot that's going to be next week with Dover, and obviously in the other series going to be at Martinsville. But no control really over what's going to happen there. But here tonight at Homestead, this is one that everybody's raced at. It's one that the official series visit quite frequently. So always a great chance to come out there and prove yourself. As Isaiah Zwingay, Hoosick Falls, New York, go Jim. Great to have you with us here tonight. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for saying hello. And you definitely say Nora more often than Icon, says Sean Purcell. Well, look who's leading the race. You know, I mean, this is a great joint operation. We've had lots of Icon drivers come over and join over in the Nora series. And we also broadcast, obviously, 2 Nora broadcasts here on the network, including a NASCAR Next Gen series on Tuesday nights for Nora. And we began the season broadcasting the Nora race, and we started broadcasting Icon a little bit later. But we appreciate you giving us a little bit of little razzing there from Sean Purcell. Super appreciated. Nathan?
Yeah, I tell you what, I've loved having Patty over on the team in Nora. It was great having him, having some of those Icon guys on the team over there. It's been a lot of fun bringing these 2 leagues together and crossing paths, and it's kind of been, you know, a great experience for a lot of guys, you know, from Nora going over and Icon going over to Nora. So it's, you know, we absolutely love this partnership. It's not technically a partnership, but it basically is, because these guys, they love racing on both series.
Well, and even the admins, Ryan Patty and Josh Conover, and of course Ronnie Norman as well. I mean, they've got each other's backs. Josh and Ronnie they don't really need much help over in Nora right now, but Ryan's needed some help at various points, and they've been able to assist in various ways. And of course, Josh always pretty much watching along. Earlier in the season, he was actually competing. There, I just cut away for a second, but Justin Michael was getting sideways there. And then you see a little bit further back, Vincent Loria and Kyle Purcell battling it out right now side by side. This is one of the better runs that Kyle has been having here in the Icon Cup Series.
Yeah, he's having a good run. He's got that Halloween theme going on there. You got that orange and black on there. It gives you the Halloween vibe. We're close enough.
Counter-Strike Halloween edition. Certainly.
It's a snazzy paint scheme there. Colorful.
Certainly going back to the old school Counter-Strike. Obviously, everybody playing their different favorite games when they're not out there sim racing. Vincent Arthur, though, not playing a game. He's out there running well here tonight at Homestead Motor Speedway, up half a second on Brian Smith. And I had cut over there a little bit earlier. My goodness, Vincent really ripping the wall. He is trying to run as high to that wall as he possibly can. Again, getting some data for Tuesday night for sure. But he is having a great run getting up there and scraping alongside that wall. But here comes Brian Smith closing in very rapidly. He's going to make that move down the inside.
Yeah, I was joking with Vincent earlier. I told him to make it interesting and be inches from the wall all race. But he's got to get down to the bottom because Brian Smith making that bottom work. Oh, but Vincent going to... Oh, man. Brian blocked him there. Vincent gives him a little tap.
That's the old slide job in effect right there. Brian knows that Vincent going to try to rip the top side. We'll see if Brian does exactly the same thing here and moves up the track as Vincent gets the run off the high side. But you see Vincent kind of not able to hold it up there. I don't know if it's because of the dirty air coming off the car in front or if the tires are starting to overheat a little bit running up on that top side, because now Nathan Finnegan in this battle as well.
Going to be a good run here for Vincent off the corner, though. Let's see if he tries it on the bottom. Bottom seems to be working through 3 and 4. I'll have to see what he chooses here. Looks like he took the outside here again. Brian Smith been making that inside work, but Nathan Finnegan, he is making that outside work. I mean, I think he's closer than Vincent is to that wall. Is now Vincent going to try underneath him here. Here comes Arthur trying back for the lead.
Well, when you can't beat him, join him. Gonna do the same thing that Brian Smith did to him, perhaps, and slide right up in front of Smith. Oh boy.
Oh man. This is gonna be a fun battle for the next few laps here. These guys, they're having fun with this.
And in the meantime, Nathan Finnegan is saying, guys, don't tangle into me, but I'm gonna try to get as many points as I can from this first stage. As he's now up into the mix here, going down to the low side on Vincent Arthur.
Yeah, Finnegan, he's trying to get some points here for this stage. They only award points for the top 5. So the more he can get right here, if he gets a win, that's 5 points, and that pretty much secures him a spot to the final 4, or at least puts him closer to it, as Vincent goes way down to the white line.
Finnegan up into the wall. He drifted a little too high.
Oh, man. Finnegan, I think if you're Finnegan right now, I think you got to accept 3rd place and just run it nice and safe here the next few laps. Let these two battle it out. Hope that they take each other out.
Well, you say that, Nathan Finnegan, he feels like he's got to run. It's when you can get that top side to work, it's pretty much unstoppable. You get this monster run down that backstretch. It's just more... Can you keep it working lap after lap? It seems like these drivers getting a little loose. Nathan Finnegan getting the run on Vincent Arthur. Is he going to clear him?
You can see kind of into the corner. He's using that seam to help the car turn. Like I said earlier, it's tight on entry, loose on exit, but we see Brian Smith just tag the wall on entry there. But he was using that seam to help him turn early in the corner and then got off of it as he was exiting. So sometimes you can use that seam to your advantage.
Meanwhile, you see in the background Cody Neal and Vincent Loria exchanging positions back there for 4th and 5th. So we start lap number 45. Go to the end of this. This is the white flag for this stage. Brian Smith still in the lead. Nathan Finnegan in 2nd. Vincent
Finnegan
Arthur
tapped him going into that corner. He gave him a little shot, hoping that maybe Smith would overdrive it. Now Finnegan to the inside here, trying for that stage win. Get 5 points here if he can do it. Oh, but Smith pinched him. He's going to try to get a run, but oh, wow. Finnegan. That thing just was glued to the bottom.
Absolutely brilliant run in stage number 1 from Nathan Finnegan. He did not hold back and just settle for third. He came back and challenged and managed to take the top spot and the maximum amount of points here in stage number 1. So it's going to be Finnegan, Smith, Arthur, Loria, and Neal, your top 5. And once again, 313 Motorsports getting 3 cars into that top 5. Impressive run from that team. We're going to take a momentary break here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be side by side, and we'll come back with an interview with one of these drivers. Stay tuned. Great to have everybody back with us here as we're just about to bring in Cody Height, who survived quite an amazing incident there earlier on. Cody Height on YouTube, man, that must have been something on your stream. Tell us what that was like, surviving that earlier yellow flag.
It was interesting. Thanks for having me up here, guys. Yeah, it was pretty scary. I thought they had it saved. I thought I was going to miss it, and then I looped it and did a full 360 without hitting anything, so I was pretty happy about it.
Well, and then you were back a little ways in the field, but you and your teammate over there at Harper Motorsports, Ronnie Norman, seemed like you had no trouble getting back into the top 10. Everything working fine for you guys?
Yeah, it's going okay. I think Ronnie has a little bit of damage that can't be fixed, and coming into pit road there, Timmy actually touched the barrels a little bit, and he had a little bit of damage from that too, so it's been a pretty interesting night so far.
Now that you mention that, of course, we're going to have to go back and watch that, but either way, you keeping it straight. No, a lot of these drivers really having trouble with the car getting loose.
Oh, man, I love a loose race car. You give me something I can drive off the right rear, and I am a happy camper.
Well, Cody, best of luck to you, and maybe we'll be talking to you after the end of this race.
I hope so. Thanks, Trevor.
My pleasure. So that is Cody Height, driver number 17 Ford for Harper Motorsports. And Christian, he had a wild ride, but he's right back up there in sixth or in as 8th place at the moment. So now Nathan Finnegan going to lead us back to the green flag after taking that stage victory. Who's it going to be? Who's going to take the overall victory tonight? Who will punch their ticket to Phoenix? That is the question. We're now back to green flag racing at Homestead.
I'll tell you what, something happened to Brian Smith. He's the whole way back in 18th, so he was up here in the top 5 there at the end of the stage, but now he's got to work his way back through the field. Maybe he just wants to do it for fun.
Well, there definitely was a problem during the caution period, and we'll go back and take a look at that replay here in just a moment. But right now, side by side, Vincent Arthur feeling those new tires. Going to take a look down to the low side on Nathan Finnegan coming through the corner. Linda Arthur, go Vinny. This is great watching you race tonight, too. Have a great race. Absolutely, so great to have you. And Emily Romskin, let's go, Nate. Fantastic. Thank you for checking in, Emily. And the four-door SS says Nathan showing them what is up. So Nathan Finnegan getting some serious crowd support out there. Awesome to have you all joining us here tonight and rooting on with Nathan Finnegan. We've got multiple drivers having some incidents. We've got Brian Smith sideways, Kyle Purcell just getting through that incident, and Scott Patton having a moment. Zach Lockett down now onto pit lane.
Yeah, this is the problem with restarting in the rear. You know, Brian Smith, he was top 3 in that stage, and he's back in the back for this restart, and he's involved in this. So, we'll have to. Wow!
What is that?
Oh man, Sean Purcell, he's got a broken left front, and he cannot be happy about that. He's a playoff driver. To get taken out that way is, oh man.
I don't quite know what to say about Lockett. I assume that perhaps he had some sort of an issue here.
We saw Brian Smith go around, so was it something with him maybe?
There he went sideways and then hit the barrier, went flying upwards.
Did he hit the barrier? I don't know what he hit.
Well, let's back it up. We'll take one more look, figure this one out. This is something else here. Perhaps there's a bump down all the way close to the wall there. I feel like I've hit this before. Look at that. It's a speed bump.
Wow, I've never seen anything like that. And yeah, man, that didn't bring out a caution. The caution comes out the next lap for, I think, Brian Smith, but man, that should have been a caution.
And this is on board with Scott Patton, who then goes up and tags Brian Smith. They both make contact, go all the way down to the inside wall, and then come up the track.
I think Brian Smith comes down reacting to contact that happened in front of him, possibly. We'll have to take a look from the blimp cam. But here he is. He's behind Scott Patton here, and he's going to go to the outside of him. There was a little bit of contact in front of them right there. Yeah, you see that. Brian Smith, he reacted to what was happening in front of him, didn't realize that Patton was underneath him, and they both go around. But man, the weirdest things I've seen on iRacing have all come whenever I'm in this broadcast booth with you. So I don't know what is up with that, but I've never seen a car do a full wheelie on the front stretch on its own.
Well, we've got all the goodies here on VirtualRacing.Network. What can I say?
I tell you what,
the stars definitely shine on Sunday nights here on VirtualRacing.Network. Blake Hoppy having a real problem there for Full Send, though, getting sideways and getting into another vehicle. So several drivers really having trouble in the span of several laps. But ultimately, that contact between Scott Patton and Brian Smith is going to bring out our next caution for an incident. And Brian Smith's evening has now completely changed. He's still on the lead lap, but possibly with some damage. We'll have to take a little bit of a closer look. So
that car looks pristine.
Doesn't look too bad.
I don't think he touched anything. I think he basically got helped by Patton hitting the wall and didn't touch anything, which is insane, but I think he's fine.
Unfortunately for championship driver Sean Purcell, the same cannot be said, as he has now gone down a full lap. So this is really hurting his championship playoff potential to get into Phoenix here, and this is absolutely not what he wanted to see. You can see that left front fender now completely torn off of that machine, and he now waits for some damage repair, so he'll be sitting on pit road. Blake Hoppy also just exiting pit road. Still a lot of damage on that machine. Kyle Purcell exiting behind. You can still see some damage on his right front fender as well. He's bringing it back in for a little bit more repairs to be done here on pit road. And Purcell still has not gotten back out. Scott Patton, lots of damage on that machine still. And Zach Lockett still sitting on pit road as well. So unfortunate stuff here, Christian. Not what you want to see for some of these championship drivers. But if you do look on the left-hand side there, you can see still 6 championship drivers in the top 7 right now.
Yeah, and that just goes to show that they're not here by happenstance. They use their talent to get up here. They wouldn't be top 10 if they didn't, So these guys definitely know what they're doing. Finnegan, he's got a chance to still win this thing. He was running really well with Vincent Arthur and Brian Smith, so definitely think he's a contender to win here tonight.
Well, still a ways to go to find out, but Vincent Arthur steps on the loud pedal. We'll go again here in Homestead. This is a big move for Vincent Loria, though. Now the championship driver, there he is on the inside of Nathan Finnegan as they exit turn 2. Looks like Finnegan.
He's going to tuck in line there.
Yeah, and Finnegan able to retake that spot. Cody Neal right there. Ronnie Norman up into this mix. And Tim Harper on the low line. Ronnie's teammate there at Harper Motorsports. You see just behind Justin Michael and Adam Ball side by side as well. Michael pulls ahead. Tim Harper possibly going to win this battle. Nope. Ronnie Norman stays on that high side. 3 wide just behind for position, though. Justin Michael caught in the middle of that with Cody Height there on the inside.
Yeah, Jenks on the outside of that 3 wide. I think he was actually in the middle. He's going to push it again. Almost get into the middle of that again, but having a good rebound so far here for that 38 after spinning early.
Certainly something for you watching tonight from the broadcast booth instead of the pit box, but watching on and seeing your driver from Full Send Esports fighting in the top 10 here in the Icon Cup Series. Jenks, of course, having a second place run not that long ago here in Icon. Ronnie Norman.
Yeah, he was just talking about that earlier today, that he was pushed to a second place earlier, and he wants to better that. He wants to get a win. He said he's not taking any prisoners anymore.
Well, and of course, he's been putting a lot of races in between here and Nora, and some bad memories lingering from a particular race in Nora, but oh no, I'm thinking of a different driver. Never mind. I was gonna say different Full Send driver. Look at this right now. Brendan Jenks pulls it down to the low line, but falls out of that position as now Tyler DeTalent moves forward. Of him. Brian Smith almost making contact there.
Cameron Thompson made significant contact with Justin Michael's back bumper there. Kind of looked like Brian Smith kind of forced Cameron Thompson into the corner more than he wanted and got into the back of Justin Michael. And now Brian Smith on the outside of Tim Harper.
Yeah, and Tim Harper falling backwards now. I don't know what's gone wrong with that machine, but here comes the number 7 of Thompson to the back porch of Tim Harper. Harper staying on that inside line. Justin Michael on the outside. Brian Smith just up ahead, and Adam Ball there as well.
That car back there got a little bit loose. I think that was the ED8. 3 wide here. It's going to be off the corner more than likely.
Justin Michael in the middle of this sandwich, and he slides up the track just in front of the number 7 of Cameron Thompson. Michael trying to own that position on the track. Looks like he's able to hold it down there in 9th place, but this is a lot of hot and heavy racing for 9th. Here comes Cameron Thompson running that high line. He gets a heck of a run coming off the corner, and he'll take that position back.
Yeah, that was a great run. He put it right up against the fence, used every bit of that run, and takes 2 cars in 1 corner.
Some awesome racing here in what is essentially the mid-pack. Anthony Campbell back here as well, racing with Brendan Jinks. Side by side, Campbell with the Subway sponsorship, running that high line.
I couldn't tell if he was in the wall or just that close to the wall there. I think he did get it a little bit.
Well, that's certainly how it runs here at Homestead. It's just right up there close to that wall. Sean Purcell chiming in over in our YouTube. Must win at Dover. Indeed, that's unfortunate stuff for Purcell, who is going to have to go out there and fight like he's never fought before at Dover. But Finnegan fighting tonight, and he was able to take the top spot in the first stage. Do himself a lot of good. Wow, a lot of movement back here. You see Brian Smith going to the inside of Cody Neal, getting around Ronnie Norman and now Cody Neal, and now up into the top 5.
Oh, you can see he's getting real loose there in that 78. He is pushing that car for everything it's worth right now. A little bit of smoke came out from underneath his tires as the caution comes out, and I can hear it on my end. Brendan Jenks.
Brendan Jenks, night going up and down.
And again, not his fault by any means. This is hard to watch as a team owner here. I already saw it, but looks like Anthony Campbell gets loose on the outside of him there. And yep, that's hard to watch as an owner. I feel bad for Brendan. He's had a rough take this season, and he's just trying to survive one race to get a good finish. We saw what happened when he did. He survived Talladega and finished 2nd. Nothing he could do.
Well, it just continues to get loose off the corner, and this time Campbell unable to save it before it goes left and into Jenks. Jenks now sitting on pit road taking some repair. And here comes everyone else into the pit. So this apparently a good opportunity for Arthur and everybody else. I mean, literally everybody else so far behind him coming into the pits.
I'm hearing a lot of people got black flag there, but everyone getting it cleared. Some issues happening coming into pit road again. This is the 2nd time we've seen some issues with these guys getting into pit road.
Well, it's one of those things here on iRacing that it's always good when there is a live admin that can handle things and help to work some of these problems out. But yeah, I know that. I mean, I don't know at this particular track what the issue is, but I know that one of those things with these entry and exit roads is you can't pass another driver that's on the outside who stays out on the track. But here, you know, it could just be a timing scoring issue that they're sensing that they're not tracking the cars correctly. I honestly don't know, but whatever it is, fortunately, Icon Cup Series with some ability to clear those black flags, get the drivers back out there.
I got a little bit of news here. We got a driver caught speeding on pit road. Vincent Loria caught speeding in that run there. He's going to have to restart from the tail end. Championship contender here.
Well, his night goes a little sideways. That's more like a end of the longest line penalty for him.
Yeah, you see some guys
there.
Yeah, I think he was debating on topping off on fuel, but these guys are nowhere near being able to make it to the end, so wouldn't have really done him any benefit.
Certainly. So Vincent Arthur still out in the lead of this one. Nathan Finnegan in second place. Brian Smith back up into third. Cody Hyde on YouTube finding his way up there into fourth place after this round of pit stops. And
he said he likes a loose setup, so he's feeling it out there.
Not a surprise. If you like it loose, this is the place to come. High speed, high bank, and those seams really seem to work towards the drivers that can handle a loose race car's favor. Cody Neal, two Codys racing fourth and fifth. Cody Neal spells it different. Now currently in fifth place. He's one of our championship drivers. So still with that top, we've still got 5 championship drivers in the top 9. Then you go back to 18th place with Vincent Loria, who just had that speeding penalty. Unfortunately, Sean Purcell having to sit this one out on the sidelines. But again, anything can happen. Sean says, I can gain 1 spot if I come out in 7 or so minutes. So you play all of those games when you're in the championship hunt.
Yeah, I mean, 1 point could be the difference from him making it into the next round and being eliminated. I've seen it before happen in real life, where, drivers work feverishly on their car before the damaged vehicle policy happened. Before all of that, they actually would fix their car for, 30, 40 minutes and come back out there and run like 50 mile per hour slower than the entire field just to get that 1 point. But these guys going to be going back green here. Hopefully he is able to get back out there and get some positions. But Vincent Arthur with a great restart there on the bottom. It seems like the preferred lane on these restarts.
Fantastic run from Arthur, side by side now between Smith and Finnegan. Smith going to take second place now. Great run from him. Cody Neal takes fourth place away from Cody Hyde on that start. Ronnie Norman up into the mix as well. There's Ronnie sitting in sixth place. Cody Hyde drifts up the track, but here comes Cameron Thompson. Thompson into the wall.
I mean, he had such a good run going on that outside, and then it was like a missile coming down from from the top there down into the wall. I mean, it looked like everything was fine, and then it just snapped to the left here.
My goodness.
There it goes.
That's exactly what happened to Anthony Campbell that sent him into Brendan Jenks that caused the caution. But back to it. Unfortunately, Cameron Thompson's night has massively changed as now we've had another problem with Brian Smith.
He saved it, but man, a lot of cars taking evasive action to avoid him there.
Well, we're going to have to... We'll try to back that one up as well. This is what happened a moment ago. Finnegan chasing the low side on Smith.
It's going to happen in this, coming out of this corner, I think it is, or maybe into the next corner. But you can see they're battling pretty far apart from each other, so I don't think... Oh, man, he got loose coming out of that corner and saved it, but
somehow
see Norman and Height. Yeah, Norman and Height took evasive action, got by it, and Cody Height actually now in third because of that.
Well, Height, as you mentioned, now up into third. It's always amazing to watch drivers just losing it right in front of you, and you go on to take the position. Currently, Cody Height sitting in the podium spot now in third place. Finnegan up there in second, staying within reach of Vincent Arthur, but now it's over a second gap between Finnegan and Height. You can see quite a bit of a gap, almost half a second back to Cody Neal. And then you've got Ronnie Norman and Justin Michael equally spaced back there, but Brian Smith and Adam Ball now changing positions as Brian Smith's trying to make his way back forward once again. Just a momentary mistake from a great driver.
If he rebounds from that, I don't know what to say.
Well,
that was a tire killer, 100%.
100%. Well, and normally you might try to take a lap or two to try to recover that on the tires, let them cool down a bit. But Brian Smith says, no doing. I'm going back. I'm passing Justin Michael, and I'm going back up to the top 5. He's actually running in 6th place right now. Ronnie Norman up there in 5th. And speaking of Ronnie Norman, Stephen Dombrowski says, let's go, Ronnie. Good evening, Trevor and Christian. Well, good evening, Stephen.
Hey, it's been a while, it feels. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Well, it's always welcome to see Stephen Dombrowski, officially the Ronnie Norman fan club. The president and sole member of the Ronnie Norman fan. Well, I take it back. I have a card. I have one of the cards in the Ronnie Norman fan club as well. So, makes 2.
Yeah, I wasn't given one from Ronnie, so he didn't provide that for me. I guess I got to purchase it myself.
Yeah, got to go on the website. It's $50. It seemed a little high to me. There's Vincent.
I mean, I've been friends for 11 years. He should give it to me for free.
Vincent Loria in the middle of a dogfight here between Tim Harper and Adam Ball on the outside. Adam Ball closing in there on the outside, but Tim Harper has been kind of struggling to get up into the top 5 tonight. He's sitting outside right now in 9th.
He was oozing confidence earlier, and I think that confidence is gone now. But I think, like Cody Height said, I think he has a little bit of damage that he's dealing with. It's kind of hindering him from being that top 5 contender that we're used to seeing from Harper. Look at Jenks, 3 wide through the middle here.
And Doug Jenks watching on YouTube, seeing Brendan making that, splitting that difference, going straight through. Hello, 9th place. Welcome back to the top 10 for Brendan Jenks.
I would love to see him be able to rebound from that earlier incident and get a top 5 out of this night, or even potentially a podium. He puts the work in and week out to get those podiums. He just doesn't have the finishes.
Still plenty of race to go. 55 laps remaining here. 54 actually, but Adam Ball, Tim Harper still fighting this one out just behind. That's now for 10th place. As I said, Tim Harper kind of struggling on these longer runs. So we see this side-by-side battle going on now for 6th place. Justin Michael, Ronnie Norman, and now Brian Smith and Cody Neal exchanging positions. Brian Smith back up into 4th.
I'm at a loss for words. I don't know how you nearly spin out, lock your brakes, or lock your tires up, flat spot them, and come back. I guess that's just iRacing, because real life you would have flat spotted the tires and they would have popped.
I guess that's the difference between us mere mortals and Brian Smith and Vincent Arthur and the like that seem to be able to do just whatever they need to do. That's what they do. You see Justin Michael getting up close to the wall there. Stephen Dombrowski saying, I work 12-hour days now, so I really try hard to watch, but I usually fall asleep early in the broadcast or just before. Hey, that's totally normal to fall asleep during our broadcast. It's absolutely par for the course. Don't worry about it.
You saying we're boring?
It's usually when I'm talking that people are falling asleep, so we try to give Christian as much airtime as possible. Vincent Loria taking the position there from Justin Michael, so move Vincent Loria now up into 6th place.
Here, Steven, I got something to wake you up.
Yeah, we'll just have to do the air horn every 5 minutes for Steven.
Yeah, every once in a while to keep him awake.
That's for you, Steven. 4 positions, 4th place to 7th place right now, all Toyotas. If you're into that kind of thing, interesting to see them all running one nose to tail. But Vincent Arthur, Nathan Finnegan currently running their Chevys up in the top 2 positions. And then you have Cody Height and Brian Smith back here in 4th place. Cody Neal now bringing up 5th place. And then you find Vincent Loria and Justin Michael back here in 6th and 7th. Ronnie Norman has slid back to 8th. And now he has Brendan Jenks on his tail.
Yeah, just to update, the fuel window for making it to the end of the race just opened. It's going to open this lap. It's going to be 50 to go, and that's the mark that I was told, 50 laps on fuel. So it's doable if you pit now to make it, and everyone's going to want to pit. Once you see that first car drop in, you're going to see everybody start coming in. So it's just going to be a matter of who's the first one to make that decision to pull off the track, give up their position, and pit.
We will be watching for that undercut strategy. Who's going to do the undercut? Who's going to do the overcut? The best laps of the race were a very high 32.92 so far from Vincent Arthur. And the last lap from Vincent Arthur, a 33.38. 3rd place, Cody Height doing a 33.53. So the tire's not that affected right now. I would say we're going to watch those times. If you start seeing, for example, right now, last time 33.43 for Vincent Arthur. So if we start seeing those times go up dramatically, that's the time when really smart drivers are going to start looking at that undercut strategy and saying, okay, now's the time to go for it. Everyone else is struggling. I'm going to make up some time with some fresh tires.
Yeah, if I had to guess who the first car that we'll see pit will be, I think it's going to be that 12 of Tim Harper. He loves going the undercut strategy and taking chances. I think we'll see him first in pit road. Him or Norman, I would say.
Well, right now, Cody Height has Brian Smith all over the back of him for that podium spot. Here comes Brian Smith closing in every lap just a little bit more, sitting about 0.2 of a second off the back porch of Cody Height. So, decision time for a driver like Brian Smith. He may say, okay, rather than have to come out here and battle with Cody Height for 3rd, why not just come in, get the tires, and let the pit crew do the work to get me the position. So Brian Smith kind of backing off there a little bit.
I was going to say another guy that could benefit from it, Cody Height, he's got nothing to lose. He's sitting there in 3rd. He could just pull off and take this pit stop, and he could possibly catch up to Finnegan and Arthur by doing that short pit.
Well, right now, again, we're talking about lap times, 33.63 from Vincent Arthur. So I would say we're starting to get into that territory where the smart drivers that do want to make up some track position. I mean, one thing to always factor in is you could kind of gamble on a late race yellow. And so if you do undercut, you get the track position before, 5-10 laps to go, there may be another yellow where everybody's going to come back into the pits, and that could be your opportunity to get back in and get those fresh tires before other drivers are able to overcome or overtake you with their fresher tires. But we'll see whether that's the way it works out, as Brian Smith has another big moment coming off the corner, almost wipes out and heads down to the inside wall. That's how many of his cat slides has he used up tonight?
He's on 7 or 8. If you ride on board with him, he is. If you want to see on the edge of out of control lap by lap, on board with Brian Smith, that is what it looks like. My goodness. Some
scary stuff there for Brian, as he does manage to recover. But you see Cody Neal now taking advantage of Brian's misfortune. What a lap there for Brian Smith. What a recovery. This has been anything but easy for Smith. And now you see they're all chasing. Kind of gets up into the wall yet again a little bit on that exit. now chasing Cody Height just in front. And now what's happened is we've got multiple cars running here trying to get that third position from Cody Height. Height really struggling himself up there in that third spot.
I'm starting to understand why dirt track drivers absolutely love Homestead. I think they're turning right more than they're turning left in the corners.
Definitely, it'll be interesting to watch Josh Conover on Tuesday.
Yeah.
See how this works out for him. But Cody Height right now hanging on to it. He loves it loose out there, so naturally he's running in a podium spot. And also not...
Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
You saw that, right? He was about 30 degrees sideways, and he's still going to make a pass.
Well, Smith doing his best to take the crown of loose as fast.
He's making it interesting.
He is, and he gets up into the wall there on exit. Still keeps it on the track.
Oh, no.
Justin Michaels sliding sideways on the backstretch. Just into the inside wall.
This will not bring out a caution. He is so far off the track that iRacing not going to throw anything. But luckily for him, he's already locked in. This isn't going to ruin his season, but definitely unfortunate there for that 87.
Okay.
But here it is.
First one to bite, Ronnie Norman. Second one to bite, Tyler DeTalent. Justin Michael finally does make it into the pits as well. And Blake Hoppy also choosing to stop on this lap, but Hoppy quite a ways down in the number of laps that he's running.
And Justin Michael was speeding through pits just to get to his box, so I think he is done for the day.
It's been a rough go of it out there. This might be a night where you say, okay, that's as many laps as I run. No, this is just one of those tracks. Sorry to cut you off, Christian. I was just going to say, this is one of those tracks where if you get into the groove of this track, oh, Brian Smith, this time he's not going to get out of it. He spins, he does not make contact, but Brian Smith, does it bring out a caution? No, it does not. And he's still struggling to get that machine going again.
I don't know if you've ever seen Jimmy Johnson when he spun at Dover. Oh, we got an issue there for Norman. What in the world?
Norman in the wall.
Ronnie?
Yellow flag is out for Ronnie Norman. Let's back it up here. We'll just back it up on camera and see if we can figure out what happened. I think he was avoiding maybe that incident. I didn't see any other contact out there.
This looks like a possible wheel disconnect or screen freeze here. Because he turns it right. And yeah, he puts it in the wall intentionally and then slows down. So either his screen froze or his wheel came off or possibly wheel shut off. And this is tough. I mean, he undercut, he was going to have a pretty good run there in a must-win, and now this happens, and Brian Smith at the same time loses it in this corner here, crosses the seams a little bit. Cody Height also with an issue there. He saved it, though.
Height zigging, which was the correct choice in that particular instance. Let's take one more look from on board with Smith. And so Christian, how many times? Well, first of all, he's used up at least 8 of his 9 lives here, but oh my goodness me.
Yeah, like I was saying before we saw Norman in the wall, I don't know if you ever seen Jimmy Johnson at Dover saving it, but that's what that looked like. He spun like 3 or 4 times, inches off the wall, and that's kind of similar to what Brian Smith just did there.
Well, this is it. Everybody now making their way into the pits. So this is the time when Fortunately for a lot of these drivers who might have been on the wrong side of that undercut, overcut strategy, they're going to get a chance to get a King's X on this one and get on the same strategy as everybody else. But Vincent Arthur, first one off. Nathan Finnegan, second. Cody Neal in third. Brendan Jenks in fourth place. And he did not short pit that one. So Jenks with a full stop. And right now Doug Jenks is out there, and he's got his pom-poms in the air rooting on his driver.
Yeah, I tell you who this does not benefit. Cody Height, he pit early, and he's shown a lap down. He's going to get the lucky dog or wave around, but still, he's going to have to start in the rear of the field now. So this is a tough break there for Cody as well as Ronnie. So I'm trying to find out exactly what happened from Ronnie. I messaged him to see if he could answer under green. We'll have to see. He's a multitasker like Conover. He can do it. Oh, someone just disconnected right there. Oh, it's Vincent
Arthur. What in the world just happened?
Why is it a full moon every time we broadcast?
We got to make it interesting, but this isn't the way to do it. Let's, you see him blinking in and out. That's clearly some sort of internet issue befalling Vincent Arthur.
Yeah, I got answer from Ronnie. He was going down the front stretch and his screen went black. His TV completely turned off. So
this is Vincent Arthur.
Oh, his wheel disconnected.
Wheel disconnect.
You could see that. Yeah, you could see that wheel snap right. So the wheel disconnected on him, and then when it starts reconnecting, his internet can't handle it. So, man.
Back to the live picture. Vincent Arthur gets it going again, but he's back in 12th place. What does this do? This moves...
Everyone's having technical difficulties. My goodness.
Steven's saying Ronnie's TV rebooted randomly. So, hey, again, electronics failures, a common thing, and we're seeing Vincent Arthur coming all the way back up to the 4, so...
I think I have an explanation. I think Icon is haunted. We're just going to go with that and run with it.
That's as good of an explanation as anything else I've got.
Halloween's right around the corner. It's haunted.
Gremlins.
Yep. Maybe the gnomes have something to do with it. Maybe they're pulling wires over there.
Well, no, the gnomes are the good ones. It's the gremlins you got to worry about.
I don't know. I could fear some evil gnomes. I don't know.
Evil gnomes. I've been watching a lot of horror movies recently. That'd be a good one. I wonder if they've done one.
It would be.
Evil gnomes. That would be something.
I'm sure Brady would be a fan of it. He seems to be a fan of the gnomes whenever we bring them up.
Sure. Well, we'll be officially changing our name here on VirtualRacing.Network to the Gnome Racing Network. GRN. Nathan Finnegan, though, championship driver who wants to punch his ticket to Phoenix, is now in the lead. Vincent Arthur, is Vincent going to get to start again on the pole? Is he going to be in the lead? I don't see him coming to the green flag first, so it's Finnegan first, and then Arthur second, Brendan Jenks in third place, Cody Neal side by side, and we're 3 wide behind with Vincent Loria, Tim Harper, Brian Smith back in the middle of this one.
I don't know how some of these guys are back in it. I mean, Jenks wrecked, Harper wrecked, Brian wrecked. I think even Cody Neal is wrecked. So, I mean, these guys, I guess the story of the night is you got to be involved in a wreck to be up front. As we see Harper, that was close.
Harper getting sideways. We got Cody Eldred having an issue as well, pulling all the way down to the inside. He'll get it going again.
Finnegan having some internet issues again. We saw him blink a couple times, but now Vincent Arthur side by side for the lead.
I still think Kyle Larson should be no motorsports. I don't follow that one, but Steven Dombrowski out there. Vincent,
I think that's a short joke.
I see. Vincent Arthur getting sideways on the track. Lots of drivers struggling with this one. How about Vincent Loria now to the inside on Cody Neal? And there's Brian Smith up in the wall again.
He's going to make that his home if he's not careful.
And it's Finnegan and Arthur side by side down the backstretch. There's Arthur down on the low line and Finnegan on the top line. Arthur really wants to take over that position for the lead, and he does. He pulls the old slide job up in front of Nathan Finnegan, but Finnegan crosses him over, pulls it back down to the low side, and takes that position once again. Is Arthur going to get the run on the high side? And Brian Smith, by the way, still back there in third place somehow. These two cross over and keep exchanging positions, and that is just allowing Brian Smith to creep into the middle of this one.
Yeah, Finnegan trying to get a good run on that outside here. Going to get a good run down the front stretch. Let's see if he pulls it to the inside. There he goes.
Smith only moments away from being in the middle of this fight for first and second. I don't even know how it's possible for this driver to still be there. Any of us mere mortals would have wrecked out long ago. But here he is holding on to third place. Nathan Finnegan, Vincent Arthur fight it out in front for the top spot though. Arthur back to the lead.
For the moment, because here comes Finnegan. Huge run. Right on by.
It's really a good thing that Arthur doesn't sense Finnegan's going to try to make that pass and pull it down to try to block. That would be catastrophe. It's better to let it all play out. Now Brian Smith right on the back bumper, and he'll pull it down to the inside, headed into turn number 3. Is he going to be able to pull off that position? Vincent Arthur on the high side getting the run off. Brian Smith not able to take that position officially. Vincent Loria able to take the position behind. We've got another incident.
You gotta be kidding me.
This is Brendan Jinks. He was running in 4th place. He gets it going again, but there is a caution on the speedway. Well, Vincent Loria pretty clear of the incident so far, or is he? Well, oh, and Cody Neal right into the side of Brendan Jenks. Well, you know who I'd like to watch on board from? This is Vincent Loria's point of view in this incident.
Yeah, I would love to see the steering wheel of the 67.
Well, we can certainly take a look back here.
As a team owner, I'm a little bit invested in this one.
And he's headed pretty much down, just straight down, and the car just kind of keeps drifting up to the right. He doesn't really try to avoid pulling it down to the left or anything, but back it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep my comments to myself on this one. I cannot be down the middle on this one.
This is what Brendan Jenks saw from on board. He was very loose coming off the corner. Loria going down to the low side. Of course, Loria does know that Jenks is there. Would have received the call that he was side by side. The Lady in Teal, that's what I'm calling this racetrack. I'm trying to get it to stick. Who will tame the Lady in Teal? That's the question. Brian Smith going to lead everybody who decided to pit under that caution off of pit road. Nathan Finnegan in second, and Vincent Loria, Adam Ball, Cody Height, Stephen Tuck, Brock Hersey, Hanover Fist into the top 10. Congratulations,
how about that?
Hanover.
He's using that rock music to get him up there.
Yeah, he's got some Eddie Van Halen playing right now in the cockpit.
Hey, that's good music to drive to, I tell you that.
You bet. He's He's the only driver in the field with actual speaker system in his car. You can hear that every time he pulls into the pits.
He's got subwoofers back there.
He does. But interesting call from championship driver Tim Harper to
Desperate
gamble.
call.
Well,
That's what this is. He's gonna have an extra set of tires though. If a caution comes out with like 10 to go, 5 to go, he's gonna have an extra set compared to these guys. So that's the call here by Harper. Well, it's crazy, but we'll see.
I mean, we will certainly find out tonight.
I did say earlier that the two guys that like to gamble a lot are Norman and Harper. And we saw Norman be the first one to pit, and now we're seeing Harper pull a crazy strategy. I think back to Nora. I think it was Vegas. We saw him completely save fuel longer than anybody else, and he runs out on, I think it was 2 to go. He ran out of fuel, so he is used to pulling these types of strategies.
Certainly, the gamble might pay off tonight. You can vote over in our YouTube chat room, assuming that it actually posts. Find out here. Oh, I guess maybe not. We'll try to get that fixed for you, but we'll have that poll here in just a moment, and you'll be able to vote on who you think is going to win tonight's race at Homestead Motor Speedway. Will it be Vincent Loria? Will it be Vincent Arthur? Will it be, I mean, there's still a handful of drivers that it could be, obviously, outside of this, but could be Nathan Finnegan, or could it be Brian Smith? Those are going to be your options tonight. If you'd like to write somebody in, feel free to do so by writing into the comments who you think is going to win out there tonight. By the way, if you're not already subscribed, you should be. It's the only way to chat with us in the YouTube chat room. We love chatting with everybody and who they're rooting for. But certainly also subscribe so you get all of our races here on VirtualRacing.Network right there on your homepage. You'll know about our upcoming races. It's the best way to go. We're knee-deep in the playoffs. I mean, we're just about to get to our finale races. You won't want to miss it. If you don't mind, hit that like button as well. We'll get this out there to more and more of the YouTubosphere. Timothy Harper going to start here on pole position for the end of this race. 21 laps to go. And he's still in the lead, but here comes Brian Smith with a monster move down to the inside.
Yeah, and he's going to drive right on by Tim. I mean, those old tires, they're not going to hold up there against Brian Smith. It's going to be close for him to be able to do good. I mean, he's got warmer tires, so he might be able to run better through 3 and 4 here. We'll have to see. Oh, man, not going to be able to make it work, but under that caution, a little bit of an incident happened. Vincent Arthur, he started way back in the back for this restart, and that's because Brian Smith actually nailed him coming into pit road and gave him a big shot, so he had to fix some damage.
And we also have another issue. Brendan Jenks, I believe, having another issue on the track, but he pulls it down and safely into the pits and does not bring out the caution. Side by side now, Brian Smith and Tim Harper again for the lead, and here comes Nathan Finnegan into the picture. Smith down to the low side.
Oh, man. I think there was contact between Harper and Smith.
This is a big battle happening right now. Of course, Harper in the championship hunt, but Brian Smith is not. Nathan Finnegan is in that hunt as well. So, playoff drivers and non-playoff drivers squaring off here in the final laps at Homestead Motor Speedway for the Icon Cup Series. Round number 16 at Homestead. Brian Smith so far able to hold the lead. Nathan Finnegan
into the wall.
Into second, but Harper slides up high and into the wall. Vincent Loria now looks on the inside. pulls it back into line, and now Loria will go again in front of Cody Height. We have a note that Stephen Tuck has also crashed out of this race.
Yeah, there was a lot of drama going on in the back of the field, a lot of yelling at each other, and yeah, it was kind of a mess on that restart toward the back, but we're going to keep the focus up front here because this battle is going insane right now.
Brian Smith still leading this race, but there is Nathan Finnegan. He wants to punch his ticket into Phoenix. Justin Michael has already done so. Brian Smith unable to carry over into Phoenix and possibly win this championship, but Nathan Finnegan certainly can. Tim Harper, he would love to get the maximum amount of points here tonight and possibly punch his ticket into the championship. Cody Height, one of those drivers that at one point was a championship playoff bound driver, but did not survive into the latest round of the playoffs. As a result, just racing to try to get as many points as he possibly can and possibly get a win here in the Icon Cup Series. Vincent Arthur giving it everything he's got out there.
Contact for the lead. Oh my goodness. Finnegan doored Brian Smith off the corner. Almost wrecked. He's still underneath him.
Still a lot going on for this lead. They haven't given it up yet. Finnegan and Smith side by side for the lead. You see Vincent Arthur pulling down to the inside of Cody Height. That's to get up back once again into the top 5, and he does manage to get that position. But back up here in front, Finnegan doing everything he can to try to take this lead away from Brian Smith. He hasn't been able to do so far.
What is Finnegan willing to do for this win? He's gonna race Brian Smith so hard these next 14 laps. A win guarantees him a spot at Phoenix, so he's gonna push everything he's got. Oh, he's gonna try the outside here in 3 and 4. Let's see if it's able to work for him. We saw him earlier utilizing the wall very well compared to the rest of the field. He's gonna have a run down the front stretch here.
He's got a nice clear rear view as well. That always helps to have that confidence. Feeling a little bit of that air coming off the car in front, taking some of the downforce off of the front of that NASCAR Next Gen machine. Finnegan now going to try that high line once again with 13 laps, soon to be 12 laps to go here in this race, and Brian Smith able to pull out a little bit of a gap on him at this point. But now side by side back here between Arthur and Loria. This is for 4th place.
Yeah, these guys have been battling for about 2 laps side by side. Let's see who's able to come out on top of this. But I tell you what, Tim Harper on those old tires, he's making this work. He's still in 3rd place. He needs a good finish here tonight, and he's doing everything he has to right now.
There's Loria still trying to hang on that low line and get that 4th position. Is he going to slide up? No, he doesn't have the room to do so. Arthur stays on the outside line. Not able to clear going into the corner, so they stay side by side. And now this battle up in front of them is getting hot and heavy again.
Tim Harper's actually catching them a little bit. I'm really impressed.
Well, Harper, you know, he did come in 11 laps before everybody else. We've got 11 laps to go here. I don't know if that's going to make any difference as we get to the end of this race, but perhaps that gamble, not quite as stupid as it might have seemed on that restart when we saw him sliding back almost immediately. Harper with the long run pace, able to claw back into this lead, but Brian Smith still holding on to the top spot. Meanwhile, back here for position, this is Adam Ball and Ronnie Norman racing it out for 7th place. Just up in front of them, that's Vincent Arthur, Vincent Loria, still side by side through much of the corner. They swap over positions and then back at it again as they exit the corner. But up in front, this is the battle right now. Brian Smith, Nathan Finnegan, and Tim Harper very close to this mix.
Yeah, Vincent Arthur actually had a moment there last lap on the backstretch, got really loose. So he's going to lose a little bit of ground there to Vincent Loria, and now Cody Height trying to attack him here, going underneath him. That's for 5th place.
Height underneath, going to try to take that position. You see Norman and Ball still fighting it out back there as well. Smith now opening up that gap just ever so slightly on Finnegan. Harper still right there in 3rd. You know, Harper's just hoping that these two wreck come into the line and he can just capitalize on all of this. But we'll see. He might be getting close enough that he might be able to actually try to make a pass on Finnegan.
Yeah, he's within half a second now. He's kind of reeled them in slowly. He's making that inside work really well right now. As we're getting into lap traffic, this is definitely going to play a factor, I think.
Yep, it's not just dealing with the traffic up in front of the lead lap traffic, but it's dealing with lap traffic as well and having to navigate that safely. Brian Smith, Nathan Finnegan so far able to do so. But how long until they get in the midst of the battle that's happening out here? More battles happening here on the track. This is Cody Height, Vincent Arthur. You see Arthur on the outside of Cody Neal. Neal was at one point up here in this top group battling. Kyle Purcell engaged in his own battle right there with Cody Eldred up in front. That's for 9th and 10th position. And Hanover Fist has fallen out of the top 10, just behind Brock Hersey now. We go back to this live picture up at the front. Still close enough that he can make a move. Nathan Finnegan just trying to do anything he can to get up there and possibly pass Brian Smith and take the win. This would be huge for Finnegan.
Yeah, that last corner, he started using the bottom, and now you see him go back up to the top, but he's going to poke his nose down to the low side a little bit of Smith there to get a little air to his nose so that he's not too tight. Now you see he's going to go back up to the top, kind of taking whatever lane Brian doesn't take to try to get that momentum. But you can see Harper is actually really close to Finnegan now. He's about the same distance from Smith to Finnegan, so he's still in this. And like you said, he is hoping that these two just end up wrecking each other and he's able to win and lock himself in to Phoenix here.
Well, it is just 3 laps remaining now for these 3 drivers. Finnegan right
close.
there.
He almost tapped him going into the corner there. That was really close. But Finnegan. A good run there for... Oh, no. He got loose.
2 laps to go this last time by. Next time will be the white flag. Brian Smith still holding on to this lead. He's used 8 of his 9 Cats lives in this race. Spinning, getting into multiple incidents, being taken out. You name it, he's been involved in it. He just hasn't destroyed that Toyota yet. But there he is, holding on right now in the lead, and the white flag is in Barney the Flagman's hands just one more time around, and Brian Smith may complete the ultimate comeback story that we've had here in the Icon Cup Series. Nathan Finnegan, though, still close enough, and there's Tim Harper close enough to take advantage if these two do tangle. Finnegan, Smith coming through turns number 3 and 4, but I don't know if he's going to be close enough to do anything about it. Brian Smith going to be able to take victory here at Homestead Motor Speedway.
And he certainly tried going into that corner. He drove it in very deep, almost got to Smith's bumper, but just wasn't able to get there. But man, what a finish. I mean, 3 guys under a blanket for that one.
Fantastic finish for these front 3, but my goodness me, does the Cheesecake Factory Toyota 313 Motorsports driver of Brian Smith deserve some accolades for that race. You see Vincent Loria showing his appreciation for his teammate there at 313 Motorsports. So we're going to take the moment to get the final results together for you and round up these top drivers and get them into the post-discussion corral. We'll be right back here on VirtualRacing.Network. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for some great discussion with these drivers. And welcome back here on VirtualRacing.Network. It was an absolutely stunning race out here with Brian Smith falling backward. First, he came all the way forward, about 15 positions on the track. Then he fell back. Then he came forward. Then he fell back. He got involved in multiple incidents. He's had to work his way through this field about 5 or 10 times. But in the end, he's able to hold on to victory here for 313 Motorsports in a race I don't even know how to categorize for him. He should have wrecked about 5 or 6 times and been out of this race, but instead he goes on to hold on and take victory here in the playoff race at Homestead Motor Speedway. Congratulations to Brian Smith. Second place going to Nathan Finnegan of Collar City Racing with a fantastic race, and that should come pretty darn close to putting him into Phoenix, should he just be able to pretty much drive through Dover. Timothy Harper in third place, a great championship run for him. He's doing everything he can to get himself to Phoenix, and tonight's going to help a lot. Vincent Loria in fourth place. Vincent Arthur in fifth place. Vincent Loria, of course, championship driver also for that 313 Motorsports team, able to secure some great points for himself. Arthur not part of the playoffs, had a fantastic run of it tonight. Unfortunately, I think ended up with some misfortune, and that put him back out of contention for the win. Cody Height in sixth place. He had a great run going, but of course getting some misfortune. Ronnie Norman, some technical gremlins creeping up there and putting him back into seventh place, but still in this championship battle. The fourth place of those drivers in the championship that were racing out there tonight in the playoffs. Adam Ball in eighth place. Ninth going to Cody Eldred. 10th to Kyle Purcell. 11th to Brock Hersey. Hanover Fist takes 12th. Stephen Tuck in 13th. Cody Neal, championship playoff driver, ending up all the way back in 14th place after some misfortune. Tyler DeTalent, difficult race for him, back in 15th. Sean Purcell, same thing. He's going to be in a must-win situation in Dover. Kyle Corley in 17th place. Brendan Jinks had a great run going, getting some unfortunate incident there in 18th place. 19th going to Justin Michael, last week's winner, but so happy he punched his ticket to Phoenix last week. Anthony Campbell back in 20th place. Cameron Thompson in 21st. Jamison Haviland in 22nd. Blake Hoppy in 23rd. Zach Lockett will take 24th place, and Scott Patton, a night to forget, back there in 25th place. And so with that, I believe, Christian, tonight this was a very interesting race here at Homestead. That's
one word for it.
It was full moon at times, but I mean, it's just kind of Homestead. It's really difficult to figure out. It's a very difficult track to master. But Brian Smith did about as close as you could. He worked his way through the field like 10 times.
With that, I mean, we saw a guy do a wheelie on the front stretch, a TV turn off randomly, a wheel disconnect. I'm telling you, this was one of the weirder races I've seen in a while. But what a battle for the end of this one. I mean, between Brian Smith, Nathan Finnegan, and Harper, you could have thrown a blanket over all three of them. Any of them could have won this race at any given time, but Brian Smith was able to better them all, and he used up 15 lives, I think, if he is a cat. You know, he passed 9.
Well, certainly it was exciting, and just so much great passing involved in this one. It'll be one to go back and rewatch again. Speaking of which, you want to be subscribed to VirtualRacing.Network going forward. Of course, you can watch all of these races on demand in our YouTube channel, but you'll be notified of all of our upcoming races, including a brand new league that we'll be introducing here very shortly. If you follow our Facebook page, you're aware of it. But we'll be covering into the off-season on Tuesday nights a brand new league called the BRB Racing League. And now, I believe, Christian, you've had a chance to catch up with Tim Harper, who took 3rd place tonight.
Yeah, just caught up with Tim Harper here, former driver for me, good friend. Tim, you finished 3rd. I can't believe you were able to stay up there. I saw you stay out, and I was like, what is he doing? But you made it work amazingly. So tell us about that strategy and how you were able to finish 3rd here and get some good points going into Dover.
Well, I basically tried to save tires all night, and I had to pit early in the first stage because of a spin out that I had, and I took tires then, so I was down a set versus everybody. And basically I had 1 set left, and I told myself, I was like, well, if I get another caution after this, I'm screwed if I go in now. So I decided to stay out, and I just knew that I was going to get passed by a lot of people, but it just it felt good. Felt good as it had all night. I ran my fastest lap on that run, so felt really good.
You told me this morning to bet on you here tonight, and this is, I think, one of your first podiums here in Icon. So, I mean, you were half right. You were up there. I mean, this was one of your best runs of the season. What do you think you got going into Dover? I know you're probably going to be about plus 10, plus 15 if I had to guess there, and I think if I remember correctly, you were pretty good there in the past. So how do you feel going into that, man?
I mean, it's Dover. It's a weird track. It's kind of a short track, but it's not at the same time. But yeah, being with Cody Neal and Sean Purcell having terrible nights, I think I'll be up quite a bit on the cut line with Ronnie being already 41 and Patty not even being here. So, which Ronnie should gain a lot on that cut line.
Yeah, that's good for your team. Cody Height having a good run too, finishing 6th there. So you guys all in the top 10, except for I believe Campbell. He had a rough night, but good job out there for Harper Motorsports. You guys clearly had something going here tonight.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I said, I just tried to save tire and get a long run, and it just it didn't work out the way I wanted to. If you'd asked me after the stage or before this past caution, I would have said, yeah, I have no chance, because it felt terrible all night until that last run. So.
Well, I tell you what, it was a great run from you, and I'm excited to see if you make it to Phoenix, because you've won there before. You're really good at Phoenix, so I think you could put up a fight for this championship and possibly be favorite at Phoenix.
Yeah, man, that's the goal. I'm trying to get there, and trying to get there for the Owners Championship in Nora, and hopefully we can get a win there. And I think short tracks, well, I mean, it's kind of a short track, I guess you could say, but short tracks is mainly the main thing I like to run, but I'm trying to get myself better at these 1.5 miles. That's where I struggle the most at, I feel. But here in the past 2 weeks, I think I finished 4th and 3rd past 2 weeks, so it's an improvement, and I'm trying to work on myself. So
Well, before we let you go here, anyone you want to give a shout out to before we send you on your way here tonight?
Yeah, I want to shout y'all out for putting on an amazing podcast. Can't wait to watch it. And just thank y'all for taking the time out of y'all's day to do it. Thank Ryan for putting on a pretty good league here. Had my doubts in the first few races, but it's turned out to be pretty fun. I want to thank Pay to Win and 213 Somewhere for always being on the car, and Harper Performance for always being on it, and thank my teammates for sticking with it all year and running as hard as they can, and we'll see if we can go get this championship.
All right. Well, again, congrats on the podium, and good luck the rest of the week. I'm sure you got 2 more races here, so I'm sure this helped for those. So good luck with those, and good luck at Dover next week.
Yeah, setting 3 out in the trucks for tomorrow, and it's a cutoff, so gotta be good.
Well, I have all the faith in you as a former driver for me. So go out there and perform.
Well, maybe you'll bet on me tomorrow night. Maybe I showed you a little something.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I think I'm gonna change my bets. So good luck tomorrow night, man.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all.
All right, Trevor, I believe you were able to catch up with our second place finisher, Nathan Finnegan.
Absolutely was, and Christian, I know you actually have to make some prior commitments, so we appreciate you hanging out with us and getting some great interviews and everything, and we'll see you tomorrow night here at Homestead as well.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So that was Christian Snyder signing off for the night, but now we get a chance to chat with Nathan Finnegan, who joins us here on VirtualRacing.Network. And Nathan, it was a great run for you tonight. I think you did possibly what you need to do to make sure that you're going to be solidified heading into Phoenix. You had just about everything to go up there and try to take that win from Brian. It was, how close were you? I mean, it's got to be rough because you were so close to being able to go up there and actually challenge for that win. But still, points-wise for the championship and staying in the playoffs, great run tonight.
I appreciate it, Trevor. Yeah, the URI 6 Camaro was definitely hooked up. We had great long run speed, and big shout out to Brian for the win. He ran a hell of a race there at the end, and he had a optimal pit stop. I mean, as picture perfect as you could get. So, which gave him a track position and helped him out quite a bit. And yeah, I mean, he was. I respect it for him keeping it clean, and that was a hell of a battle at the end there. It was fun. But all in all, I mean, a good points day. Would have loved to lock ourselves in, so we're not, worried about any mishaps next week or anything like that. But yeah, I think we still came out pretty well above the cut line. So about as good as it could be without, taking the trophy home. So.
And I mean, that is really what the focus was tonight. But at the same time, you had to deal with so much more. There was so many different incidents happening out there on the track. You had Brian Smith himself getting loose multiple times. You had to dodge multiple incidents that were going on out there. What was it like trying to keep this car pointed straight? It seemed like it just wanted to jump to the left just about every single lap.
Yeah, this setup was definitely a lot looser than most tracks we go to, and I think I've mentioned it before in here. Like I appreciate a really loose setup where you got to kind of wheel the car and really manage and rotate with the throttle more so than kind of get and be set on entries. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on track, and wish it wasn't as many cautions. Would have liked it to stay green, but we brought it home in one piece. That's the big thing. So
indeed, brought it home in one piece. Now looking ahead to next week, what are your thoughts on Dover?
Yeah, I think got to take a look at the points, see where we're sitting, see what that looks like. I mean, the one benefit to Brian winning is that it wasn't another playoff driver locking in, so still 3 spots up for grabs on points or a win, so that definitely helps benefit us. And I think just, again, keeping the car in one piece, avoiding the wrecks, just going out there and running, I think a clean, solid race, and I think that'll take care of our business to do what we got to do to go to Phoenix, so.
Certainly. Well, a great run out there tonight, and heading into Dover again. It's a bit of a crapshoot. Fortunately, you're at Dover instead of Martinsville, but it's still going to be a bit of a difficulty next week. Who do you want to give a shout out to for your run tonight?
Yeah, big shout out to the CCR, ECR guys. Adam and Brock ran a great race. Hope to have Justin back next week when he gets his equipment mailed in, and Mike Jennings as well. Appreciate my parents tuning in, and my fiance, and all of our other supporters for the Icon League, and you and Christian in the booth doing what you guys do too. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Well, it's always a pleasure to watch you out there racing. You gave it a great run out there tonight, and if it weren't for Brian Smith, who seemed to have a horseshoe stuck somewhere, you would have been taking home the big hardware tonight. Great run. We'll see you out there tomorrow, or next week, excuse me, for Dover.
Appreciate it, Trevor. Thanks.
That is Brian Smith, driver of the number 78 Toyota for 313 Motorsports. I'm sorry, Nathan Finnegan, the driver of number 6 Chevy for Collar City Racing. We're about to move over to Brian Smith, the driver of the number 78 Toyota for 313 Motorsports. And it was a great run out there for Brian out there tonight. It was anything but easy. It was kind of a nightmare, to be honest. But somehow the Cheesecake Factory number 78 ended up in victory lane. Brian, how is it even possible that you managed to take victory out there?
I have no idea. That was probably the sloppiest race win in my nearly 10 years of sim racing experience. Let me tell you, from wrecks to speeding penalties to wrong strategy, like the whole thing you can do wrong, I did it tonight, but somehow at the end I had nailed a pit stop and got the right track position and was able to hold on.
It was one thing after another. I mean, you make contact with other drivers, but still you managed to not put too much damage on that Toyota Camry out there. So, is there something special that you got going into these incidents to keep yourself off the wall? Do you got like a magic pit crew? How in the heck did you manage to keep that thing still in contention with no damage and be able to point yourself into the lead there?
Well, I thought my race was totally over. I'm looking at the replay right now. It was lap 51. Looks like I came down on Scott Patton, which was totally my fault. I got sent us both down to the inside wall, and I thought for sure I was going to be down on power or at splitter damage, and looks like it messed him up pretty bad. So sorry, Scott, if you're listening, but I was able to walk away from it unscathed. I went down on pit road the next lap, and to my surprise, I didn't have any damage. And yeah, that was just a product of speeding on pit road early in the race and didn't qualify. So I felt like I came through the field like 4 or 5 times, but you're going to have issues anytime you try and do that, and certainly had a few of them tonight.
Well, and yet, that loose problem was about the same thing for everybody out there. We saw it affecting just everybody up and down through up and down the grid. But you did have lots of challenges. This is something that you're used to. Now, first of all, you worked your way all the way through the field. By lap 11, you were already up challenging for the lead. So that was quite phenomenal. But then once you were up there, of course, Vincent Arthur playing a great role and leading quite a number of laps. But Nathan Finnegan trying to challenge you for the lead, you challenging Vincent Arthur. It was a non-stop battle for you out there, and you were always having to watch your mirror.
Yeah, Nathan and Vincent were both really fast. Nathan was super fast on the long run. He showed that at the end of the first stage. I didn't do a great job of saving my stuff, and I was battling with Vincent. I wasn't paying too much about what was going on behind me, and then I noticed Nathan was coming, and I was talking to my teammates. I was like, did he stop for tires? Did he have a tire advantage on me? And no, he didn't. He just did a really good job of saving. And on that last lap of the opening stage, he sent it down there into turn 3. And I'm like, there's no way that thing's going to stick. So I backed off, hoping to pull a crossover on him. But he just cruised on by like it was nothing. And just goes to show you how good of a job he did tonight. And I think anyone who was racing up front at the end of this race, as long as they got the lead on that last run and were able to just run that line, I was running that top in 1 and 2 and then bottom in 3 and 4. It is so hard to do anything if you're following that. It's that's why I was doing it. It was just a defensive line, and it worked.
Well, you managed to basically tame the lady in teal, as I'm trying to impart that moniker onto this track. A very difficult racetrack, but once you can get into that groove and find where your car wants to run, seems to be your ticket to success. And Brian, you had a great run out there tonight. Question about next week at Dover. What's your thoughts on Dover, and how bittersweet is it to take this victory knowing you could have been in the playoffs at one point, but instead you're not able to fight for that championship, but you will be back to fight for a race win?
Yeah, I love Dover, so I was really pleased to see we're going there instead of Martinsville. Dover's probably one of my favorite racetracks, and so is this racetrack. They're just a lot of fun to drive. They're unique and challenging, but it is bittersweet. I do wish I was racing for a championship. I certainly think I had a good shot at it, but it's fun to come in and play spoiler and, you know, race those guys clean because they obviously have a lot more to race for than I do. But I've still got some teammates, Vinny and Cody, that are racing for the championship, so hopefully, you know, one of them can get it done. But yeah, looking forward to next week. Should be a lot of fun at Dover.
Well, who would you like to thank for tonight's run to success?
I'd like to thank you guys for doing the broadcast as always. I'd like to thank Nathan and Vincent. Those guys were a ton of fun to battle with tonight. It was just nonstop. I'd like to again apologize to Scott Patton. It looks like I ruined his race, and I hate that. But yeah, thanks to everyone else for racing clean. It was a lot of fun.
Well, it was absolutely our pleasure to cover you, and of course, keep it exciting here on VirtualRacing.Network. We'll look forward to seeing what you can do out there at Dover next week, and good luck with the rest of your season.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Absolutely, our pleasure. So that is Brian Smith, driver of 313 Motorsports Toyota, who takes victory here at Homestead, round number 5 of the playoffs. This was, Brian's race is something to be studied for the future. It's like something NASA should look at to figure out how this was possible. It seems like rocket science is required here, but in reality, this race was so exciting, just as all of these races here in the Icon Cup Series have been, and it continues to be a fantastic series to continue to cover here as we get closer and closer. Just 2 races remain until we find out who will take home the inaugural series championship for the Icon Cup Series. So with that, we're going to go ahead and close it out here on VirtualRacing.Network. Again, thank you to everybody who joins us over in YouTube. It's so appreciated. We're glad that you're really enjoying these races. Emily Romsky, thanks for joining us. You to man, Nate, she says to Nathan Finnegan, and John DeTalent. Top 15, yes, indeed. He had such a great top 10 race going, but a little difficulty for Tyler out there. Sean Purcell going to have to come back and get a must-win. Doug Jenks, thanks for checking in with us. The 4-door SS, thanks so much. Linda Arthur, Chewy, which is Anthony Campbell, thanks for coming in. And Isaiah Zwingy, thanks so much for joining us and rooting on your drivers. We really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow night right here on VirtualRacing.Network. It's going to be the NORA Truck Series from Homestead. And if there's one thing that we know, if the Cup cars put on a good race here, the truck race should be absolutely insane. You won't want to miss it. Be out here tomorrow night at 8:55 p.m. Eastern Time right here on VirtualRacing.Network. On behalf of Christian Snyder, all the competitors here in the Icon Cup Series, we wish you a wonderful evening. We'll see you out here tomorrow night on VirtualRacing.Network. Bye-bye, everybody.